D's right over here.
Is Carl Crouch, who played on the very first team here in Civic Hall in 1939 and 40. And Carl, that goes back a few years, but what do you remember about that very first year?
Well, the first thing I'd like to say, it's a thrill to be here tonight, just as it was a thrill to be here 44 years ago. The thing I remember most was the size of Civic Hall. After coming out of the Coliseum, where we had been playing ball, it seemed like we were going into a big arena. And it was just completed, and the outside was not completed quite, and the shrubbery was not in. And when we came to practice, we used to have to walk on boards because of the mud. The walks weren't in. But it was a beautiful place, and it served itself well, and time had just outgrown it.
Well, Carl, let me say that hopefully the Richmond Red Devils will be able to win the very last game in Civic Hall tonight. What do you remember about the very first game? Did Richmond win that one?
Well, we opened the first game against Liberty, and we beat Liberty 41-7. We were very fortunate, and although we went on and we lost in the regional to Burris and Muncie that year.
Well, that's great, and I know we're real tickled to death to have you back here tonight, Carl, for this historic game. And have you seen the new arena, and are you going to go through after the game?
I'm going through after the game. I was over once while they were building it, and it sure is something that the city can be proud of.
Carl, thanks for spending time with us tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Dan, shall we go on to our next guest? Okay, come on in here, Tom. Talking to Tom DeHaven, one of my buddies out at Wayne Division, who's retiring this year after 43 years. And Tom, you played in the early years, I know, in Civic Hall. What are your remembrances of those early days?
Well, I actually played on the junior varsity the night they opened up in '39, and that was That's my fondest memory when this gym looked great then.
Well, actually, Tom, a lot of times we think about the first varsity game being the first game ever played in Civic Hall, but when you think about it, the junior varsity game that night was the very first game, and you played in that one. How did that one turn out?
We won. I don't remember the score, but I know we won.
Did you make a contribution in that game?
Yes, I did. I played center at that time.
You played center. What are your thoughts, Tom? You've been a season ticket holder for many years. What are your thoughts finally getting out of Civic Hall, moving into a new arena?
It's time. It's overdue.
Thanks a lot, Tom. We've got a lot of other guys we want to talk to. Appreciate it. Dan, what do you want to do? Going to go to our next guest? Okay. Dale Daffoball is our guest now, and Dale, you were one of the outstanding players in Richmond High School's past, and I know you have felt for a long time, like many of the rest of us, that it was time for a new arena. What are your feelings tonight?
Well, I'm kind of sad to see this whole place closed, but I definitely know that we do need a new arena. We have for a long time, and I'm glad to see that come too.
Dan, you had a boy play. Phil Daffoball played a few years ago and was an outstanding player. And as a parent myself, I know sometimes it's difficult to sit in the stands and watch your son play. How did you get through all of that?
Well, as you know, that's not easy. I think it's harder to have somebody playing than it is playing yourself, because you hear all the criticism around, and we both know that I know your son today and mine too just tried their hardest and did the best they could.
Dale, what were some of your memorable times here in Civic Hall? Is there one particular game that stands out to you?
Yeah, I think the game that stands out the most in my mind was probably when we played New Albany in 1948. They were ranked number 2 in the state, and I think at that time we were ranked number 1. Played with Bobby Snyder and Kenny Beasley, Dudley Moore, and we got ahead of them about 15 points early and ended up getting beaten in overtime, and I never will forget that ball game. New Albany had JoJo Dean, who's now a broadcaster on ESPN, I believe.
Well, Dale, we appreciate you stopping by, and thanks for spending some time with us, and we look forward to seeing you next year in the new arena.
Thank you very much.
All right. I have to really hold my mic up high. Big Rick, 6'8", and played one on probably the best Richmond basketball team that I can remember in the last 20, 25 years. Rick, your thoughts about closing of Civic Hall?
Well, there's a lot of memories here, Jan. It's just something to think, there's not going to be another game in here after tonight.
Rick, you played, as we said, on one of the very best teams I felt, probably the 2 best teams when you were a junior and senior. Went to the semi-state a couple of times, and of course we don't like to go back and remember that Center Grove game, but that was a year I felt that many Richmond fans felt, and I know Coach Dick Baumgartner and many of the players felt like that perhaps that could be the year that Richmond won the state championship.
We was hoping so, Jan. It just didn't go that way. I still have nightmares over that game.
Rick, you were an outstanding player. You started full-time for 3 years, and that's very difficult to do at a high school this size. Did you think when you were coming up through the ranks at Hibbert Junior High School that you would accomplish what you were able to do, because you ended up and still stand as the all-time leading scorer here at Richmond High School?
Well, I feel very fortunate to be able to accomplish that. I just knew I had to work at it. I had no idea what I was in store for once I got here, but just the memories, it was really pleasant to go through what I did here at Richmond.
Playing on the Indiana All-Star team, would you rate that your biggest thrill?
I'd say so. I was really happy to make that team.
Rick, we want to thank you for stopping by. Yeah, sure. Dan Mills, my partners, ask, do you feel that the game of basketball has changed very much since the time you played?
Well, not really. I think the kids still have the dedication and they work hard for it, but I think still you've got to do the same type of things you had to do when I was back there to stay in shape and work at a certain goal that you need to accomplish.
This is a very young Richmond team this year. They're gaining some valuable experience. Perhaps the first team in Civic Hall next year is going to be a memorable one.
I think so too. I think these kids are going to really learn a lot from what they're going through this year. Like I say, there's only the 2 seniors on the ball club, and I think there's better things in store for Richmond in the future.
What were your thoughts about last night's game? That's quite a classic, huh?
It was exciting. It was just nice to see Richmond in there like they were the whole game. It was a disappointing loss, but like I say, they really put on a show for us, I think.
Rick, thanks a lot for stopping by.
Thank you, Jan.
Mind, she's wearing it in the crowd. Okay. Okay, we have Joe Walker, who played for the Richmond Red Devils back in the 50s. Joe, welcome to our show. Tell us when you played and what you remember about Civic Hall.
No, well, I played in '58. Oh, it hasn't changed that much. I played center and back there in '58.
Who was your coach, Joe, and do you remember any particular games that stand out in your mind?
Charlie Dills and, well, not here. When I played against Ron Bonham up in Muncie. And that was one of the best games we ever played when we played against Ron Bonham.
Joe, what are your thoughts about moving into a new arena next year? Do you think it's long overdue?
Yes.
Have you seen it? Have you been able to go through it yet?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Tonight's a good opportunity. I think you'll enjoy what you see. You going to plan to make the trip over?
Yes.
Okay. Joe, thanks for visiting with us, and we've got some other people we want to talk to. Appreciate you stopping by.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Dan, you want to move on to the next guest? Okay, come on in here. How you doing, Dick? We got Dick Bird, who was an outstanding player for the Richmond Red Devils in the early 60s. And Dick, your record of 34 points in the final game of the 1963 Richmond sectional still stands. Of course, Richmond has not hosted a sectional for the last 3 or 4 years. We hope that returns next year, but would you say that was your most memorable game in this place?
Well, perhaps, but not because of the points I scored. Jan, if you remember, we were picked to be upset by Hagerstown in that ball game, and we not only won the ball game, but we doubled our score. I think the final was something like 86-42, and we were playing very good basketball at the time.
Dick, you played, of course, a lot of ball games in this place, and what are your thoughts about the moving out of Civic Hall? Do you see it as kind of a sad affair, or do you share with a lot of people the anticipation of moving into a new arena?
Well, I think it'll be great to move into a new arena, not only for basketball, but especially for the education and the physical education aspect of it. But I think Civic Hall is one of the great places to play basketball in the state of Indiana. I was fortunate enough to coach some basketball at Peru when Kyle Macy was there, and if you've ever been to what they call Tig Arena, it's very similar to Civic Hall, except it's a little smaller. The fans are right down on the court, and nobody likes to come in there and play, and I think it's a distinct home court advantage.
Have you been able to get back much over the years? I know you're coaching now. We'll ask you about that in a moment. Have you been back very often?
We come back on holidays. Sylvia Farrell, my wife, and I, of course, both from Richmond, and so we come visit 2 or 3 times throughout the year, and generally over Christmas and Easter and Thanksgiving.
Dick, you're coaching now. Tell us a little bit about where you're at and how you're doing.
Okay, well, I'm at Huntington North, Huntington, Indiana. I've been there 4 years, and it's been a rebuilding process, but we think we're ready to turn the corner next year. We've got great facilities, we've got great kids, and we play an outstanding schedule, and it's been a lot of fun. We think we're going to have an outstanding team next year.
You look great, and you look like you still go out there and hit those 30-footers, Dick.
Well, I try to keep up with the kids a little bit. I play some and work out with the kids in football, but it's tough keeping up with them nowadays.
It's great to see you, and thanks for stopping by.
Thank you, Jan.
Okay. Yeah. Dick? Let me ask you, did you have a chance to see last night's game?
No, I didn't. We came in this morning for the ball game tonight, so we didn't see it. I heard a little bit about it.
Yeah. Well, it was a great one.
I heard it was, and I heard a lot about Anderson. They're outstanding.
We got Bob Van Pelt lined up. Dan, what do you say we move on? Thanks, Dick.
How you doing? Good.
I lost my earplug. Sorry there. We got Bob. Go ahead.
Go.
We got Bob Van Pelt here of roast beef and chicken fame. But Bob, you're more noted for your football prowess than you are basketball. And I know you was telling me the other day that you claim to have scored the longest basket in this place, but the other rumor I heard was, what were you doing in the game in the first place?
Well, there was a lot of question about that, Jan. the full story. In fact, Dick Bird was the guy that had the assist on the out-of-bounds play. When we were kids, we were playing at Test Schoolyard, and we used to practice some of those what-if shots. You know, what if I need this one to win the game? And against Connorsville, with about 8 seconds to go, they were shooting a free throw, maybe 5 seconds. We had the game pretty well in hand, and it was a 1963 game prior to the sectional. And Dick gave me a high sign, and he grabbed the ball out of bounds and threw it to me, and I heaved it toward the basket from the top of the center circle, or the free throw line, and it went in.
Bob, what are your thoughts? I know that you felt, along with a lot of the rest of us, that a new arena has long been needed here. What are your thoughts now as Civic Hall kind of winds down?
Well, Jan, you know, there's a lot of emotion for me in this evening. The first place, and this is an absolutely true story, the first place that I ever remember coming by myself as a youngster when I was age 6 or 7 years old was Civic Hall. And my father worked second shift at the Belden, and my mom was in a bowling league on Friday nights. And I used to walk across the bridge until I found the man with the light, and he'd let me into the ball game. And then my mom would come down and meet me after the bowling league finished, down at the old bowling alley down on Main Street by Bowen's Old, where that used to be.
Well, Bob, you've had an outstanding athletic career over the years. Of course, football and All-State Center. You went on to play at Indiana, and I don't know, did you play on that Rose Bowl team?
I was the year before the Rose Bowl team, Jan, in Indiana. We were very mediocre at that time, and you know, one of the things that I always took a great amount of pride in, even though our teams were losing, is that I was able to play pretty competitively as an individual player. But the Rose Bowl team was the year after us when John Pont's team went to the Rose Bowl.
Bob, we appreciate you stopping by, and I'm sure that shot you made will forever be remembered by those who were here.
I don't know about that, Jan. There certainly are a lot of memories that are going to rest out of this great arena tonight, and it certainly has been a great equalizer for the opponents of Richmond over the last 43 years or whatever it's been.
This is really a historic night, particularly to see Block Har up there, isn't it?
Oh, it's great, Jan. You know, my mother was in the first class that graduated from Richmond High School on the new campus, this complex over here, and Civic Hall was open, and to watch this thing go to rest now and to be moving into the new Tiernan Center, I think opens up a tremendous new era for Richmond High School athletics, and I hope that arena will become a source of pride that this one has over the year for the Richmond community.
Thanks again, Bob.
Hey, thank you, Jan. Nice to visit.
All right. Yes, we do. Good to see you, Coach.
Yeah, thank you. What are we on?
WQLK.
Is this TV?
No, I'm having a videotape.
Oh, all right.
Do you have me on? Dan, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Dan? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? We lost our cord. Baumgartner's our guest, and Dick, it's great to see you again. It wouldn't be fitting to phase Civic Hall out without you here. I know there's a lot of great memories that you have.
Well, thanks a lot, Jan. Yeah, we go back together a long ways. I can see they're still getting along fine without both of us, you with the sports writer and my coaching. Yeah, I have a lot of fond memories of Civic Hall. I know a lot of the coaches that brought teams in here didn't like Civic Hall, but I've got, as I said, I got a lot of fond memories. A lot more good memories than bad memories, and a lot of exciting games. Crowd enthusiasm was, terrific most of the time in there, and yeah, I want to thank the fans for, all the fine support, and thank the fine ball players, that I had the privilege of working with through the 12 years that I was here.
We just talked to Rick Thalls a little bit ago, and I know he's very appreciative of what you did to help his career along. It was great to see Rick back, and I know that you have a warm feeling for the job Rick Thalls did for you.
Oh, yeah. Rick and I, we have a lot of time together, and he started as a young player in there, and he was my first 6'8" ball player, and when you get a 6'8" player, people expect things to happen. So I had spent a lot of time on center techniques, but I'll tell you, I got real busy after I got a 6'8", and we spent a lot of hours together as far as in center techniques and things like that.
Well, I can attest to that. Dick, I know that you would have liked perhaps to seen a new basketball arena open up when you were here, but have you had a chance to see the building yet?
No, I haven't. I'm going to, that's one of my next things to do, is to check out the facility. They say it's a tremendous facility.
It really is. It really is. Dick, you had a lot of great teams, and I know that it would be unfair to ask you who your best players were or who your best teams were, but there have to be a couple of games that really stand out in your mind, particularly here in Civic Hall.
Well, you know, the ones that probably stick out the most would be first some that happened at Newcastle when we talk about Muncie Southside, my first year here, and then also the Newcastle game, one of the Muncie North games, and those were all really terrific ball games. And when we get back to Civic Hall, some of the Shortridge games, the Lafayette games, and real memorable games.
They certainly were, and it was a thrill for me to share those with you. And I really enjoyed working with you all those years, Dick, and it was a great thrill for me. And it's great to see some of your players come back and sit up in the stands and root for these young kids now.
Right, and the club this year seems to be doing real well right now, and this is the time to play well with the tournament coming up.
Thanks again, Dick. It's great to see you.
Thank you, Jen.
Okay. We're going to talk to Bo Chavez here in a moment. Bo? We've got Bo Chavez on with us tonight, and Bo, you look like you can still go out there and throw in those 30 and 40 footers.
Yeah, I wish I could. I really miss it right now, but if I could get out there, I'd play.
Bo, you played for some fine Richmond teams under Coach Don Rogers. Is there a game or two that stands out in your mind here in Civic Hall?
Yeah, the Broad Ripple game. That was the most fascinating game. That was the best game we played all year. Down 18-2. We were down most of the game, come back and beat them. That was probably the best game in Civic Hall I've ever played in.
I'll always remember that shot you made at Newcastle. I believe that was in the sectional, wasn't it? That you hit from center court or behind center court. Reconstruct that for us.
Well, called a timeout. We were down by 1 point, and I don't know, before the game, before we got back on the floor, I just predicted, I just said Alfred would take it behind his back. At that time, I timed him right on time, took the ball and went down the shot, not knowing how much time was left. I probably could have went in for a layup, but just shot a 30-footer and went in.
Bo, what are your thoughts now as this is the last game in Civic Hall, next year a new arena?
Well, it's going to be missed a lot. I'm going to miss coming over here and watching the guys play. Like I said, we've had some good games over here. A lot of people's been here to watch us, and that's all I can say.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Bo.
All right, thank you, John.
Want to move on to another guest, Dan? How do we stand time-wise? Scott? Richmond Red Devils a few years back. Scott, you probably got some fond memories of old Civic Hall.
Yeah, we had a lot of nice games in here. And I don't know, it's been 4 years ago, and I don't know half these guys now, so.
What are you doing now, Scott? Tell us what you're up to.
I'm a physical education major at IU. I was at Purdue for 2 years. Now I got another year to go at IU. So,
Scott, you were a good example of a guy that probably didn't play a lot of varsity ball till you were a senior, but you stuck with it, and I think that's a real inspiration to the young players of today. Perhaps the young player today is a little bit impatient and wants to get in there and what are your thoughts about, what do you remember about kind of waiting your turn till you were a senior?
Well, I chose not to play football my sophomore and junior year to work on basketball, and it turned out that it paid off, but my junior year I sat on the bench quite a bit, and it was pretty heartbreaking, and I thought I should have played, but coach thought different, and I got a lot of time on the B team. Played about half in every game on the B team, and eventually my turn came, and I was surprised to start my senior year, and I started every game after that, and it was a blessing, I think. It's a lot of fun.
Well, it's great to see you. This is like the old days, isn't it, to hear that band playing and see Block R over there.
Yeah.
And have you seen the new gym?
No, I haven't. I'm going to miss this one, though, but I hear that one's fantastic.
It surely is. Thanks a lot,
All
Scott.
right, thank you, Jan.
What's wrong with you?
Well, I tell you, I've had a few events on. For example, we've had the boys swim sectional on Thursday night and today, and then we had the girls NC championship. Had a basketball game last night. You know what a barn burner that was, Jan.
Oh,
and now we're going to close Civic Hall down tonight.
Isn't this exciting? It's been a great weekend. Of course, we'd like to have won that ball game last night, but it was I tell you, the ghosts of Civic Hall almost came out, and it's great to see Block R and look at this crowd on equipment and setting up that new arena next year. What are your thoughts about finally leaving this place? I know you're looking forward to it.
Well, I tell you, Jan, as you know, and all Richmond High School personnel, anyone associated with the high school knows that Civic Hall has been a very friendly place. And you know, Jan, you can have one of the finest field houses in the world, but there's a certain quality about Civic Hall that's kind of hard to describe. Maybe it's because of its odd shape, maybe because of the fact that the band sits so close, maybe it's the noise, maybe it's the cockroaches, I don't know. But something makes this a unique place, and I'm very proud to have been a part of it.
And what's the new arena going to be like?
Fabulous, fabulous.
You think most of these people are going to take the time to walk through it tonight? Are you going to make some special announcements to them tonight?
Yes, certainly after the game, I think we're going to have a little ceremony after the game, and then we're going to go over and take a look at the Tiernan Center and answer any questions anyone may have, and I'm certain that there will be a lot of questions.
Well, I'd like to say this, that Charlie Hilton is being surprised tonight, and I'm sure he knows it by now, as being the honorary referee tonight, and I had a little bit to do with that. But I want to tell you, Charlie, that we're very proud of the job that you do, your entire athletic staff, Norma Whaley and everyone. You do a great job and put on a great show, and it's for the benefit of the youngsters, and these kids have to really feel the appreciation, don't you feel?
Yes, certainly, Jan. Of course, you know, I've lived in Richmond for 34 years, and it's the finest place I've ever lived. And it's by choice, Jan. The fact that I think that there's a quality of life in Richmond that you don't see very often, particularly here in the Midwest or the rest of the nation. Very proud to be a Richmondite.
I hope this game is a fitting climax to the end of Civic Hall. It'd be great to win it, but I'm sure it's going to be a good ball game, and I don't think anybody's going to want their money back.
I'm certain of that, Jan.
Thanks, Charlie.
Okay, thank you, Jan.
Dan, back to you for a moment. Without the mic. some of the old-time coaches and players and get a chance to talk with them. And it's really great to see Block R over there. That really brings back memories. And of course, I go back
and fortunes. I therefore believe it is my duty, my country, to love it, to support its Constitution, to obey its laws, to respect its flag, and to defend it against all enemies.
to get a piece of the final game, and that's a great sight right now to see these gentlemen lined up to pay homage and pay honor to this final Richmond Red Devil team here in Civic Hall, built in 1939 and 40, 45 years ago, and this is the last one. Well, I tell you, a lot of those guys look like they could still shoot it up, still rebound, and of course, Dick Bird still looks in great shape. Rick Reisinger, a lot of them. Rick Thalls, still great players in their own right, and a lot of them, Dan, are great coaches now, and that's very important. That's got to be a great thrill, Dan, for those young men to come through that tunnel right now and see everyone on their feet, and these former coaches and athletes giving those guys a pat on the back. That's got to be a great feeling. You know, Dan, this could be a great ball game tonight. Warren Central is a fine team. They have a record of 10-7 as compared to Richmond's 10-8. Last night, they played Franklin Central. Franklin Central has not won a ball game, but they won by 60-some points. 2 weeks ago, they beat Perry Meridian in Bloomington South and both of those ball clubs have only lost 4 games this year. So this is a very fine team. This is no gimme tonight by any means. Referee, I think he found out about it about midway through the junior varsity game, but he's responsible for lining up an honorary referee for every ball game, and tonight he was the victim, and I think a very fitting one for this final game because he's done so much for this athletic program since becoming athletic director in 1967. Yeah, I think so. I think he's a little humble too.
Been involved in everything. Athletics, just past president,
They're announcing some of the former coaches. The first one announced was Gil Turner. He's the head golf coach here at the high school. Gary Busby, of course, was assistant coach under Dick Baumgartner and Don Rogers. Ava Stewart, the head basketball coach at Earlham College, was an assistant coach under Dick Baumgartner. And this is Charles Mcconnell, the former Richmond High School athletic director before Charlie Hilton, and one of the fine grand old men of athletics, and it's great to see Charlie Mcconnell. In fact, they named a room after Charlie, their hospitality room. There's Charles Dills, who coached Richmond High School in the late 50s. Larry Shook, Marshall Moore, and many others played for Charlie. Charlie is retired now. There's Hub Etchison, the former head football coach at Richmond High School, and that tremendous cheer you hear is for Dick Baumgartner, who is the winningest coach in Richmond High School history, won 8 regional championships in 12 years, a tremendous record, and it's great to see Dick back. Of course, Dick still lives in this community. And now Richard Tiernan is introduced, and of course, it's Richard Tiernan that the new Tiernan Center is being named after. Of course, Mr. Tiernan is retired now, but what a thrill it must be for him to have that new arena bear his name. Let's see who comes out of the tunnel next. Well, perhaps they're just going to introduce the former coaches, and they're getting a standing ovation, all of them. I might just say, Dan, that Warren Central, tonight's opponent, Richmond played at Warren Central last year, and in that ball game is when James Banks broke. Very fine Warren Central team, not among the top 20 in the state, but they're a big club. They have some quickness, and I think Coach Griff turned in the locker room. A senior, standing 6'2" and averaging 18.5. So Warren Central has 2 juniors, 2 seniors, and 1 sophomore in their starting lineup. Foley and Mullins at forward, Wildauer at center, and Jackson and George at the guard position. Whatever the reason, he's a very happy young man. And now we're going to have the starting lineup for the Richmond Red Devils. The Red Devils at 1 forward will be Dennis Williams, a 6'2 junior averaging 10.5. The other forward, Todd Graff, a 6'6 junior averaging 15.3. And of course, Todd had a great night last night against Anderson with 30 points. John Brown will be the center. He's a 6'5 junior averaging 15.8. In the backcourt will be Kyle Clark, a 5'9 junior averaging 4.7. And the other guard will be senior Roger Bly, 5'9 senior averaging 2.2. The officials for tonight's ball game will be Bob Beeson and Bill Graham, and of course they'll probably always this place has got a lot of memories for me, and even though I did not grow up in Richmond, it still seems like home. Todd's picking up right where he left off last night. He had 30 points against the Anderson Indians, and he hit that one from, that had to be a good 30 feet. Well, of course, every ball game, Dan, is so important to get off to a good start. Hitting that first bucket kind of breaks the ice a little bit. Warren Central came right back and made a real nice offensive move there. They pulled the defense out high and a great pass underneath to Ryder, and now he's got a chance to tie this ball game. This is a big Warren Central team, 6'5", 6'4", 6'2", 6'2", 6'2". Well, John Brown did the smart thing that time. That was a nice pass from Todd Graff, and instead of John catching the ball and coming down and then going back up, he put the ball up while it was in the air. He didn't get the bucket, but it was a nice move. Okay, Warren Central showing a lot of muscle in there, and they're going to push Richmond right to the wire. They've got a full court press on right now, making it very difficult for the Red Devils. Well, that's one of the problems when you press Richmond. If they can get the ball across midcourt, Big John's standing down there, and once he gets the ball, it's going to be 2 points. Well, we saw that play a lot up at Jay County. If you remember, John Brown had in the high 20s that night, and that's exactly what happened up there. Well, right there, Dan, Clark should have taken the shot. They had 3 guys back on John Brown. Kyle's going to have to shoot the ball at that point, particularly with the sectional coming up. Warren Central, very impressive the way they go to the basket, Dan, from inside 10 feet. Well, Warren Central, Mike Copper thought that the ball bounced off of Todd Graff's foot and the ball should have gone out to his team, but Richmond's going to have possession underneath their own basket. Boy, inside, the Warren Central's tough. They're going to stick it in on you if you don't play good defense. Looks like Williams has a little more arch on his shot. Last night he had a great game with 16 points, but Dennis is getting a little more arch right now. Well, Richmond's going to have to be careful, Dan, that they don't get in foul trouble, as well as Warren Central takes the ball inside. They're going to challenge the Red Devils, and they're going to have to watch their fouls tonight. Nice soft touch by Brown. You know, John only got 6 points last night, Dan, and I think the adrenaline, he's pumped up tonight. Coach Griff wanted a charge on that one. Nice arch. He's getting that ball up there very well. That's as pretty a shot as I've seen Dennis Williams shoot this year. Going to have Kendall Logan in the ball game here in a moment. I'm not sure who he's coming in for. Kendall had a fine ball game last night in a starting role. Well, I tell you, Warren Central playing very aggressively, Dan. They have a fine ball club. It's going to be a good ball game. Warren Central, Dan. Well, Warren Central doesn't seem to be bothered by this full house or all of this last game in Civic Hall hoopla tonight, Dan. They're playing very well right now. See, that's the shot he's going to have to take, Dan. He's been hesitant to take it. He's just going to have to shoot it. I tell him that at home all the time. Yeah, that was a good call. Todd didn't like it, but he got a little frustrated that time, got a little over-aggressive. You like to see that aggressiveness, but Todd's got to learn. Costly foul when this game gets down into the fourth quarter. We're going to have Brent Hampton in for Todd now, I believe. Of course, Brent Hampton's played very well this year, but Richmond gives up a lot of height when Graff comes out. That's 2 in a row. Maybe he's going to start believing he can hit that shot, because that could be a big lift. Oh boy, they got John Brown covered. Look at that. They got half of the Warren Central student body on Brown. Boy, Kendall's a good outside shooter. Now they want Richmond to press. This crowd alive. Smallest guy on the floor. Smallest guy on the floor picked him up right there with a big rebound. Bob. This may be worth $50 after all. My wife is on the third row, fourth from the left. Might zoom in on her. Quickly, some first quarter statistics. Warren Central was 10 out of 20 from the field. Richmond 9 out of 14. John Brown had 8 points the first quarter. Todd Graff back in the ball game now. Diane, that time John Brown was heavily covered, had trouble picking up the ball. If the shot isn't there, John's going to have to unload it. And these other Richmond players are going to have to read the situation. If John's covered, they're going to have to do some other things.
Graff is into Brown, wide into front now for Richmond. That's why Williams got a little piece of that ball. Jackson's going down 1-on-3.
Well, Warren Central's playing very well defensively right now, but Todd Graff, being 6'6", raised right up above and got that nice soft jump shot. Dan, Richmond's going to have to shoot very well tonight to win this ball game because Warren Central is sticking it right to the Red Devils. They're playing very well. Well, Richmond was very fortunate that time, Dan, because Warren Central got down very quickly on the fast break. They wanted Graff over the back. Yep. Well, it looks like some pushing and shoving going on under there. I thought, but first of all, they're going to call traveling on Kimball. Brent Hampton has not scored very much in the last few games, Dan, but he can give this team a big lift if he gets hot. Well, Roger was, I think, had minds of stuffing that one. He might have been better off just to try to get the layup because he might have gotten a three-point play out of it, but he wanted to bring this crowd on their feet. Now we've got John Brown back in the ball game, and Kyle Clark, is he back in? I saw him go by. Maybe he's down there sitting under the bench where he used to 15 years ago. We're going to raise the Devil at halftime, Dan. Block R. Be interesting to see what Warren Central's shooting percentage is at the half. Griff's going to try to rest his regulars a little bit tonight. I think you mentioned this on the pregame show that some of these guys played a very tiring game last night, and it's tough to go two of these in the same weekend. Hit him from every angle imaginable. Banked it in. How about that? guys come right back on you, don't they, every time? You got to be impressed with this ball club. Richmond's playing very well right now. That's the name of the game. I think Coach Griff was yelling at Brant Hampton, don't let the guy go the entire length of the court. Get in front of him and take the charge. Roger Bly coming back in here in a moment. I tell you, both these ball clubs, Dan, are playing very, very hard. Both of them would like to win this game very badly. Do I look like Howard Cosell? Yes. Howard Cosell. You're not wasting film on me at $45 an hour, I hope. Dan, I think in the second half, you're going to see Richmond put some pressure on Lawrence Central defensively because as big as this ball club is, they might have trouble getting the ball down the floor against a press. Well, it's got to be up 60% or higher. Richmond knows it too, and they're going to go for the steal. I think Roger Bly did a nice job of Shakespeare on that one. Oh. It was there, though. tonight when I was doing the pregame interviews, Larry Meyer, the assistant coach at Newcastle, walked by me. So the Trojans are taking this game in tonight in preparation for the sectional coming up, and I think they're going to go back and tell Coach Sam Alford that this is not quite the same Richmond ball club they beat by 30 points in December. What do you think? Thank you very much, Dan. Warren Central got the tip opening the first quarter. Richmond and coming out in a very tight defense to start this second half. Mullins with the ball for Warren Central, out to Jackson, over to George on the right side. The ball goes out of bounds, and Warren Central will retain possession. 35-33, Richmond by 2. We're just underway here in the second half. George inbounds for the Warren Central Warriors, over to Mullins. There's a drive inside the basket, but no shot. Ball put up by George, taken off by the Richmond Red Devils. Here comes Roger Bly on a fast break. Holds up now. Down in the corner to Graff. Graff looking inside to John Brown, back to Williams. Williams on the left wing, down to Graff in the corner. Does not shoot, back out to Bly at the high post, over to Clark on the right side. Clark directing traffic out, over to Graff at the high post, over to Williams. Williams will shoot, there's a 15-footer, it's good. Dennis Williams gives Richmond a 4-point. Got a nice arch on it too. Jackson with the ball for Warren Central. Over to Mullins. Mullins out high to Jackson. Jackson drives into the court. We've got a whistle. Let's see what's called. Big Red down on the stage end's calling traveling. But there's going to be a foul on Kyle Clark. I believe that's number 1 on Kyle. So Warren Central will have the ball out of bounds on the left side. George will throw it in. We'll pass out to Jackson. Jackson guarded by Clark. Jackson takes it inside, over to George. Long shot, no good. John Brown battles for the rebound. Clark comes up with it. Here comes Clark on the fast break. Holds up now very wisely. Setting things up now. Clark with the ball down to Graff in the right corner. Back to Clark, over to Bly. Williams has it on the left wing. Back out to Bly at the high post, over to Clark. Clark fakes a shot, looking inside. Brings it out high now, and he's pointing for Graff to go down in the corner. Clark still has the ball, over to Bly at the high post, back to Clark. Clark down in the corner to Graff. Graff into Brown, over to Clark. Clark fakes a shot down into Graff, the corner. Graff will shoot, it's no good, way short. John Brown almost with the rebound, but Warren Central comes out of it, comes out with it. Mullins with the ball now, down to Jackson in the corner, over to Richter. Richmond in his own defense now. Ball inside and is stolen away. No, it's retained there and up and in by Foley, and it looked like Richmond had the ball that time. But Warren Central scores, and Richmond lead is cut again to 2, 37-35. We've got 5:54 left here in the third quarter. Clark with the ball for Richmond. Out to Bly at the high post. Back to Clark. Down to Graff in the corner. Graff looking for Williams and Brown inside, but they're not getting it. Warren Central doing a real nice job defensively. Williams up with the ball and scores, and Williams is red hot, Dan. Ball stolen away by Kyle Clark now, down to Roger Bly, and there's going to be 2 points for the Richmond Red Devils. A nice steal that time by Kyle Clark. Richmond now up by 6, 41-35, 5:22 left on the clock here. Richmond going for the steal. They're not going to let Warren Central come down and pity pat it. And there's the ball stolen by Williams. Here comes Williams on a fast break now. Pass down to Graff. Graff fakes up and in. And Richmond now is starting to open up some daylight. And the Warren Central coach won. Back at Civic Hall, where the Richmond Red Devils lead the Warren Central Warriors by a score of 43-35. We've got 5 half court. Clark guarding Jackson. They're double teaming him over to George on the right side. Richmond in a zone defense, but they're coming out high. They're going to try to make some steals and try to open up some daylight here, because Warren Central, as hot as they are shooting the ball, very dangerous ball club. Jackson with the ball for Warren Central on the right side. There's the ball stolen by Williams. Here comes Williams, one-on-one, and has the ball knocked out of his hand, and Warren Central takes the ball right back, and here come the Warriors on a fast break. A shot by Jackson is up, no good. Jackson gets his own rebound and drives, and we got a foul. Traveling. That's a big break for the Richmond Red Devils because Warren Central did a nice job. And now Warren Central is applauding. It appears that Bob Beeson called something else down on the right side. I'm not sure what happened there. But anyway, Richmond's going to have the ball. The score remains 43-35. 4:26 left on the clock here in the third quarter. Kyle Clark with the ball for the Richmond Red Devils. Takes the ball down in the right corner. Lob pass into Graff. Graff shoots no good. Gets his own tip and tips it in. Well, that's right out of the textbook, Dan. 45-35. Richmond by 10 now. 4:07 left in the third quarter. Richmond starting to open up a little daylight now. George with the ball for Warren Central. Ball knocked out of bounds. The Warriors will retain possession.
I always say the first 4 minutes of the third quarter is very important.
Yes, they are. They're playing much more aggressively on defense, trying to get things to happen. There's a shot underneath by Richter, and it goes in. 45-37 now. Richmond by 8. 3:52 left here in the third quarter. Clark with the ball. Warren Central is going to pick up Richmond's point guard, Kyle Clark, at midcourt. Brings it down on the right side now. Over to John Brown at the high post. Bly has it. Back to Graff. Graff shoots from 20 feet and hits. And boy, if anybody has a picture-perfect jump shot in the state of Indiana, Todd Graff is the man. Warren Central with the ball now. 47-37. Richmond by 10. Ball ping down in the corner now to George. George goes inside, and we've got a whistle, and that's a foul is going to be called on, let's see. Well, it's going to be on number 54, John Brown. Right. Warren Central trying to get the ball inside from underneath their own basket. The ball's knocked out of bounds. Richmond ahead by 10 at this point. 3:22 left here in the third quarter. George attempting to inbounds the pass underneath his own basket. Mullins has it now, down to George. Richmond playing very aggressively on defense now, anticipating, wanting that interception. Try to open up this lead as much as they can. Mullins has the ball out high. He's being double teamed by Bly and Clark. Down in the corner to Jackson. Jackson inside to Richter, and a up and in. And Warren Central is as good a team as I've seen this year driving the baseline, Dan. Well, Richmond's going to have to shut that off because Newcastle's coaching staff's going to spot that, I'm afraid. Kyle Clark on the drive now. Out to Dennis Williams, and he's going to be called for traveling. Kendall Logan in for Roger Bly.
Instead of waiting for something to happen, they spark.
Jackson with the ball for Warren Central. Richmond up by 8. 2:40 left here in the third quarter. Jackson has the ball for Warren Central out high over to Mullins, guarded by Clark. Mullins is going to shoot. It's way short, and the ball is going to be knocked out of bounds by Dennis Williams underneath. Warren Central will have it. That's right. Warren Central inbounds to Jackson. Jackson being double teamed by Logan and Clark. Over to Mullins. Mullins over on the right side to George. George inside to Richter, and he goes up and in. And that young man is having a fine ball game. 47-41 now. Richmond's lead is shaved to 6. 2:12 left in the third quarter. Todd Graff off the bench again. He's going to be coming in. Brent Hampton with the ball. Fake, shoots, scores. A nice jump shot that time by the sophomore. And it's 49-41 now. Richmond by 8. Under 2 minutes left here in the third quarter. Warren Central with the ball. Being double teamed in the backcourt. Jackson has it. Logan and Clark, and there's an attempted steal by Williams. Does not get it. Pass underneath to George. Up and no good. Battle under the ball, and there is a loose ball, and Foley gets it and puts it up and in. 49-43 now. Warren Central hanging tough. 1:36 left in the third quarter now. Richmond's lead is 6. Clark with the ball on the right side. Out to Brown at the high post. Over to Logan. Logan back to Hampton. Hampton back to Logan. Logan on the right side. He'll shoot. It's going to be no good. Taken off of the backboard that time by Warren Central. Here comes Richter with the ball. George has it now down in the right side corner, and there's going to be a whistle and a foul by who? One of the Richmond guards. Roger Bly's going to come back in the ball game. John Brown's going to come out. That's going to be a foul on Kendall Logan. Clark, right. So Richmond's lead is only 6 now, 1:09 left in the third quarter. George has it. He's going to shoot from left field, and boy, he hits it. He had 2 guys all over him down there in the corner, and now Richmond's lead is down to 4, 49-45, 57 seconds left here in the third quarter, and Warren Central is hanging very tough. Brent, yeah, go ahead, Dan. Somehow, some way, Graff fake shoots. It's no good. Warren Central wanted a traveling call that time, did not get it, but they have the ball now, and they have a chance to cut that Richmond lead to 2. 37 seconds left here in the third quarter. Richmond up 49-45. There's a shot by Jackson, and he gets the roll, and that's exactly what it is now. Richmond lead is down to 2, 49-47 after leading by 10. Isn't that right, Dan? 20 seconds left in the third quarter now. Richmond leading. We've got a whistle underneath. Can't tell quite yet what it is. We've got a foul. And now we've got a shoving match between Todd Graff and Ryder. And I don't know, by only 2 now, 49-47. Brent Hampton inbounds to Todd Graff with the lob. Does not get it. Graff gets his own rebound, and he's fouled by Ryder. And Ryder shows a demonstration of some emotion there. Let's get ready. Well, we've got Cox back in the ball game for Warren Central now. Todd Graff at the free throw line. He scores on his first free throw attempt. It's now 50-47, Richmond by 3, 17 seconds left on the clock here in the third quarter. We've got a great game here, the final game of Civic Hall. There's Graff's second free throw. It's perfect, and now Richmond resumes a 4-point lead, 51-47. Richmond in a full court press right now, 14 seconds left. Having trouble getting the ball across the 10-second line. Here comes George with it. Inside, and the ball stolen away and picked up by Foley, and we've got a whistle, and that's going to be a foul on Todd Graff, I think. Let's see what happens. Unfortunate, because it looked like Richmond had stolen that ball. Very exciting finish to this ball game. Foley's first shot is good. 51-48. Let's see what Foley does on number 2. He eyes the basket. It's good. 51-49 now. 5 seconds left. Richmond's going to have to shoot in a hurry. Bly bringing it down. 2-1. There's a shot by Logan, and this barely misses. Tipped in, but after the gun. So with Richmond leading 51-49, entering the... What happened to that 10-point lead, Dan?
They'll take a long one. It's no good.
Richmond's rushing their shots, Dan, and really they're shooting outside their range, I believe. Going to be a foul on Graff, isn't it, or Hampton? Well, Richmond needs something to spark them, as you said earlier, Dan, something emotional to get this crowd up. Everybody's going to sleep right now. Warren Central coach Mike Copper's off the bench, and he's indicating he thought John Brown was using his elbows a little bit, but Richmond's going to...
So underneath the ground, they'll lay it up. It won't go. Whistle,
Well, Richmond's going to have to go to Big John inside, Dan, because the outside shot doesn't seem to be there right now. John can give him a lift inside. That's what they're going to have to do. On a roll right now, only 6.5 minutes left.
He puts it up, and no, tipped up, no. Warren Central, they're going to foul, and it's on Warren Central.
I believe it's on John Brown. Business, and boy, they came back from a 10-point deficit. Richmond has yet to score a field goal.
Goes to the corner to Brown, back to Clark. Logan top of the circle, outside to Hampton. Now Graff shoots from 15, he misses. Warren Central on the rebound. George with the ball. Comes left side, he'll shoot a long one, it's good. 59-51, Warren Central with a 35-36.
The natives are getting restless.
Down the corner, there's Calvin ball, back to Clark. Down the right corner again, it goes to Graff. Graff top to circle Logan. Outside to Clark.
Taking too much time to shoot when you're down 8 points.
Graff underneath the hip, and he waits, puts it up, and
they're going to have to press, and that's what the Richmond coaching staff wants right now. They're going to have to take the ball away, keep Warren Central from setting up. Uh-oh.
right along the baseline. First one is good, 60-53. Tries to get a move, puts it up, and it won't go. Hampton on the rebound, back up and in.
Well, Todd Graff is rushing his shots a little bit. They're not dropping for him tonight, but Hampton on a great rebound there.
4:22 to play. Jackson goes over to George, down the corner of Mullins. Underneath the Ryder, he'll put it up, let it go. Rebound top for him. Jackson puts it up. Side. There's Williams top of the circle, right side of the Clark.
Taking too long to shoot. They're going to have to put it up from the outside. They're not even guarding Clark.
Brown will lay it up and in. 3:41 to play. Richmond down by 6. Jackson. Right side over to Jordan. To steal the ball, Richmond is. There's now Warren Central starting to put the ball in the freezer. They're coming out. They're not going to go for the basket. Look at back. Jackson shoots. He misses. Right on the rebound, back up and in.
No rebounding, no position underneath the basket. Warren Central getting as many shots as they need to score, and Warren Central is going to win this ball game, Dan, unless something happens in a hurry.
3:07 to play. Richmond down by 8. Shoots a long way, and it won't go. And Warren Central out with the rebound.
Shot selection is very poor right now for Richmond.
They're getting tired, too. Double team now. Really, to get to that and make sure.
They hit their free throws, don't they? They got ice water in their veins. Boy, this crowd does not affect them one iota tonight.
George with another free throw. What's up, and it's right there, Jeff on the rebound. Throws it off to Clark.
Warren Central has only missed one free throw. Well, this is the ball game right here, Dan. 1:59 left, 6 points down. They're going to have to do everything exactly perfect from here on to win this ball game.
Clark passes a timeline right side. Goes down the corner of the ground. Top of the key to Williams. He'll shoot. It won't go. Warren Central gets the ball. Down to Mullins. Coach for Warren Central, Mike Copper, saying spread. Now we got a foul.
Well, those shots that were dropping last night.
A minute 37 left. And George hits the first double one and one. George. Good. 68-60. Shoot it. It's short. And goes down. Net. Brown puts it up. No. Tipped up. No. Warren Central with it. They throw it down court. It's a loose ball. Chance to pick it up again. It's no good. We got a rush off of it. Back here, he said. Warren Central went to their bench. Richmond just came to the sideline.
That's a 20-point reversal. And to show you
winning fouls than anything else. Second free throw is missed, but that goes down the rebound. Williams with the ball. Right side. Now we do have a foul on Mullins, and it will be a charge on Clark. There's Clark shooting and hitting.
Central's out playing Richmond right now, Dan, in almost every phase of the game. Rebounding, shooting, you name it.
Clark with his second free throw.
Central's not a bit flustered, Dan. Look at him. Johnson and Clark right now are chasing the ball, Dan, and
72. Shoots for 15 and 10. 28, 27. It's going down. The clock is running out.
a lot of frustration right now and different. Now these kids deserve a fine hand, Dan.
11 seconds to start. 73-66. Warren Central leading. Here's the last play of the game in Civic Hall. Bly, he'll shoot, he'll hit it. 5 seconds, 4, 3. Civic Hall is about to be history. It's all over. Richmond.
For 10 points. John Brown had a big scoring night. 10 out of 14 from the field, 1 out of 1 from the line for 21 points. That was high for Richmond tonight. Roger Bly took 1 shot in the 4th quarter and made it, was 1 out of 2 from the line for 3. Kyle Clark had probably his best ball game of the year tonight. Took 4 shots, hit all 4 of them, made both of his free throws, and reached double figures for the first time this year with 10 points. Off the bench, Brent Hampton, 4 out of 6 from the field. A nice shooting performance for Brent with 8 points. Kendall Logan, 2 out of 6 from the field for 4 points. Devin Johnson played in the 4th quarter there when Richmond had to go to a full court press, did not score, and had 4 personal fouls. So Richmond from the field was 31 out of 60 for 502, 6 out of 8 from the free throw line. Let me add those up quickly because Jerry Lane's not always reliable. 6 out of 8 for 75%. So the story in this ball game was the Richmond Red Devils at the free throw line only got 8 attempts. They made 6 of them for 75%. But Warren Central, 21 out of 24 from the free throw line. And let me count them up in the fourth quarter. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 13, 15, 17. Warren Central shot 19 free throws in the fourth quarter and missed only 3. 16 out of 19 from the free throw line in the fourth quarter, Dan. That is amazing. Yeah, I don't know what else I can say except goodbye, old girl. Civic Hall. Across this massive arena, what percentage would you say is done, and what's going to be the next steps that the workers will accomplish?
At this point, we're probably 75% complete, and starting next Monday, they'll install the wood floor on the main court, and that's going to take about 6 to 8 weeks to complete that. And then we're going to be moving on the upper deck and putting down a special rubberized floor that will be red to go with the red bulkhead that they're painting now. Once that's complete, then we'll start the bleachers.
Well, it's a red and white color scheme. How is this going to be carried out in other areas of the gym?
Okay, all of the railings and the columns, the 4 columns we have, will be painted black. Then we have all the walls will be off-white, and then the walls in the stairwells will be red with a black floor and black railings to carry through the red, white, and black theme of the high school colors.
This is quite a thrill for all these people to come through tonight and see this. What comments have you heard?
Well, they're surprised from looking at from the outside and driving by how much bigger it looks inside, and they're just excited and wish that they could have played tonight's game in here.
Well, this is going to be exciting next year. 8,000 people in this place. How much noise is it? I suppose the acoustics are going to give you a different feel.
It certainly will. Of course, Civic Hall, with the open roof that they have, the open structure, it's quite noisy. With the acoustical ceiling that we have here, and then all the bleachers, we shouldn't have too much of an acoustical problem.
What kind of lighting do you call that? Those are different types of lights.
Right. The lighting on the main floor will consist of just the red surface-mounted light fixtures, and that's called a halide type of light. And those will be the only lights on during a game, and the light will just light the basketball floor only.
Are you going to have I've heard rumors you're going to turn the lights out when they introduce the starters and have a spotlight. Is that true?
It's all set up to do any type of pregame show or halftime performance that the Devilettes or any of the other music organizations would want to put on at the high school.
Have they decided where they're going to put the band, the junior high section, any of that stuff?
I think what they're planning on right now, over on the east side, will be the scorer's bench and will be all the home adults with the 2 benches. On the west side over here, we'll have all of the students, and the band then will be on the upper deck area in this south corner, with all the visitors being on the north end, so that they're able to, Charlie Hilton likes to be able to control the visiting fans so he can get them in and get them out quick. And so they'll put them on the main floor at the north end.
Of course, you're the architect. Is this prettier than even you thought it would be?
It's, I think it is. It's coming off better than what we anticipated.
Thanks, Ron. Nice job.
Thank you.
4-5. Jan Clark here with the voice of the Richmond Red Devils, Dan Mills. Dan, this is your first full look at the new Tiernan Center. We might be positioned right where you see us standing right now. What do you think?
I am impressed. This Tiernan Center is going to really be nice. Of course, rough construction right now, but they're really going to take good care of the press and radio and everyone involved.
This is going to be a lot different than Civic Hall. You and I have crimped and cramped behind that tight bench up there. I'm not going to miss that at all, but this should be a completely different feel.
Oh, this is really going to be nice. You're out over the play, in fact, almost. You're going to be right up on top of the action. Plenty of room for everyone, and that's what's really nice.
Well, we hope we have a great team to go with a great arena next year.
And it should be pretty good. Maybe a sectional, regional.
Bob, that's so long for now. That's it. Sign off.